Hi everyone, this is Jim Ross from 3 Mile Domination. Welcome to the 3 Mile Domination show. We're going to do another vendor spotlight here for you. And I have Mariela Pattinson from Charity Storage. How's it going?
Hey, good morning. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I was telling you before, I see Charity Storage at all the different trade shows and the booths and that, but honestly, I hate to admit it, but I've never really sat down and chatted with anyone there. So I figured this would be a great opportunity to kind of talk about charity storage, and those that aren't familiar with get some exposure for you, and then hopefully you can start participating in this on this service. So I guess give us a brief overview of charity storage and what your involvement is.
In a nutshell, Carrie Hendrickson and I run Charity Storage. It was founded by Barry Hoven, who was inducted into the Hall of Fame a couple of years ago, and Lance Watkins of Storage Treasures and Store Local fame. And I'm sure you're aware that Barry passed last summer, so that was a very deep blow for us. But we're carrying on the tradition. Part of the reason that Charity Storage was founded was that Barry founded Curate Cancer Research as well. And this was a way to raise money for Curate, but also for other charities. So both Lance and Barry realized that there were lots of items abandoned and left at the facilities. And then the managers and the owners had to figure out a way of disposing them. And so they came up with the idea that they could auction those items off for charity. And that's kind of how it started. So now we're an official organization, and it works. It's very simple, actually, and it's very low maintenance, and there aren't really any strict rules or expectations. Everybody runs it in a way that they would like to run it, and it works for them. But you set aside a unit, and you collect donated and abandoned goods into that unit. When the unit is about 3/4 full, you auction it off for charity. Some people do it live, some people do it online. So it's completely your choice. It depends on how you do your regular lien auctions at your site.
Yeah.
So, and some people do them multiple times a month because they have that kind of turnover and the ability to collect items. And some people do it, once a quarter or even every 6 months. So there are no expectations in terms of how often you do it. Obviously, the more often you do it, the more money you raise for the charities.
Sure.
Now, the reason I think it's attractive for operators, owners, and managers is the way we split the proceeds. So 10% is retained by Charity Storage to help with their admin costs.
Sure.
20% goes to Curate Cancer Research. 10% goes to the Self-Storage Association Scholarship Fund, and 60% goes to the charity that the owner or the manager or the operator chooses. Now, how that's chosen is up to the organization, so every company has a different way of going about that, but it is usually in conjunction with the managers, so they can find a charity that's near and dear to their heart, whether physically it's close, or maybe they were affected personally by some kind of a situation in their lives, and then they can pick that charity. So it really covers a lot of great organizations in terms of support, financial support, and it helps everybody have a little bit of a buy-in into what's going on. You're also, as a facility, you're listed as a drop-off point on our website, and because we're a 501c3, we provide the managers with a tax donation receipt. So whenever you get a donation, whether it's from a tenant who's moving out or from a member of the community, you can give them a receipt so they can deduct it from their taxes, just as they would do with a goodwill. So as an operator, you're providing your tenants with a service, essentially, because they don't have to try to figure out what to do with that credenza they don't want anymore. And then for the members of the community, if they don't have a Goodwill nearby, you can become their go-to place for donating their unwanted furniture, sporting goods, tools, automotive equipment. We've even had vehicles of different types being donated. It can be anything from records like LPs, which are actually quite popular, to baby and seasonal types of things. So there are a few things that we don't accept, which are pretty intuitive, like mattresses and old tires and drug paraphernalia, that sort of thing. But
Come
we
on.
provide you, yeah, pretty straightforward stuff. But we provide you with everything that you need to run the program in terms of understanding how it works, how to implement, what the splits are, information for the people that come in that you want to maybe give them a flyer or whatnot. So we have all that stuff for you. So it's really easy to run. And especially if the managers get into it, if you pick a charity where they feel they have some kind of a connection, they really start wanting to do stuff because they're raising money for the charity.
Yeah.
And from their standpoint, they're doing something that doesn't require them to, give their hard-earned money. And the same thing goes for the operators and the owners, because you're writing a check, but that's from the donated goods. So you don't have to write a check from your own account, in other words, and you're still supporting this charity that you care about. So it's kind of a win-win for everybody, we feel. I think one of the things that people find really helpful in terms of how it affects the facility, you get more foot traffic in the door, especially if there is a little bit of excitement about it. You can put ads in Penny Saver or a Craigslist, for instance. Mm-hmm. You can call the local newspaper and say, hey, I'm participating in this new program. I'm supporting this amazing charity and these other charities. And we've had many situations where local media on a slow news day, they'll come out and actually do a story about it.
Really?
Yeah, and also not even just print media, also news media, because it's a good feel-good story. It's they get a lot of stuff that's not so nice, so they do look for things to talk about that aren't horrible. So that has not actually been quite common. And you can also do a lot of cross marketing and cause marketing. We call it cause marketing with your charity. So, they can have your logo on their website, and then you have their logo on your website, and it also gives you something to talk about on your social media, other than, hey, we have a new weekly special.
Yeah, exactly.
And you do need that. You do need some other conversation thread that is not strictly that has to do with your business. So it really gives you a way to incorporate that into your marketing plan, using us, if you will, to kind of show the softer side of self-storage, which kind of is the whole idea of charity storage, is to kind of have us all work together. Because while the 60% of the split, if you will, goes to a charity that's chosen by the operator, we all pull the money for Curate and for the SSAF. So, for instance, we've given away, or we've collected, I should say, I think around $35,000 for scholarships for SSAF over the last 4 years that charity storage has been in action. So we are actually doing something for the storage industry when that is accessible to you and to your kids and to your managers and their grandkids, and that they can apply for these $5,000 scholarships. I think just last year, SSAF gave away, I want to say 24 $5,000 scholarships. So for higher education. So that's a big deal. And it's only accessible to our friends in the storage industry. So that's all getting pooled from all the auctions. And then you also have this piece where it goes to the charity that you support. So really, once the auction is done, so you're the one that schedules the auction, or the manager does,
sure,
whether it's a live auction or online. And once that auction is complete, we have a form that you fill out, and then you send a check with for the amount with the form to us. And then every quarter, we take all that money, we do all the accounting, we pool all the money, and then we send the checks to the various entities. So we do that on a quarterly basis. Again, you might pick, for instance, let's say Wounded Warriors, right? So our Alzheimer's Association or, Autism Speaks, all those ones actually are examples of organizations where multiple facilities have chosen them.
Sure.
So we take all that money and we pool it quarterly and we send it to them, but we account for every donation. So if we have 3 facilities that donated to Wounded Warriors, it'll say those facilities, how much has been donated, and they get that letter. We also send the facilities a letter saying this is what you've donated in the past quarter and to these charities.
Oh, wow.
So we do all the accounting and the admin for you. And many times, really almost all the time, you will get a letter from the charity thanking you for your donation.
Yeah, wow.
So really, other than oftentimes getting the managers on board, because it does add a small piece to their responsibilities, there's really no negatives to this program.
No, I was going to say, it kind of sounds like a no-brainer, honestly.
Yeah, it kind of does.
I mean,
I think a lot of people think, well, what's the catch? But there really isn't a catch.
Well, that's kind of why I want to talk to you, because it's the simplicity of it, honestly, that I like about it. And as far as the effort, on the manager's end, that's pretty minimal in the grand scheme of things, on considering what you guys are doing on the back end. That's great.
No, and it really depends on, again, level of involvement. I mean, it could be just that they take the stuff, they vet it a little bit, and they stick it in there and auction it off. We have some managers that, stage it. Staging really helps because it's not like a regular lean unit. You can go in there.
It's not a lean unit, so you can.
No, it's not a lean unit, right? So you can go in there, you can stage it. People, you can clean the furniture. You definitely want to open the boxes. You want to take good pictures, whether or not you're doing it online. And in fact, if you send us the pictures or the link to, say, Storage Treasures, we put it on our Facebook page, and that is what we do a lot as well. We do social media as well, so we will give you shout outs on Facebook. We have a quarterly newsletter where we will feature new charities and new facilities and just what's going on in our program, and that comes out quarterly. And we have a lot of support from the industry. Everybody from like U.S. storage centers, among Storage Mart and StoreQuest, all those big companies, also vendors like ABR, OpenTech. You can go on our website charitystorage.org and just see the kind of support that we get. And we have not only we had the founding members who contributed money to get it going, we have sustaining sponsors that contribute $3,000 a year to help us offset our administrative costs, because obviously the 10% doesn't quite do it.
Sure, yeah.
We try to give as much of it away as we can because that is our mission. But they give us the donation so that we can do the outreach, so that we can go to the shows, because that's really important for us to have that visibility at the big shows.
Sure.
Marketing materials, that sort of thing. So there's a lot of support in the industry, and it's great actually when you go to the shows and you see our sort of charity storage friends with the buttons and the wristbands. And we have a really great group that is very involved in charity storage and promoting charity storage. We have some people that are we call them our ambassadors, like Nancy from Chateau, for instance, or Anne-Marie from Arizona Self Storage Association, Pam Domingue. So they actually, when we are not there at some of maybe the smaller shows, or even when they go visit facilities, they have stuff that they can give them, and they know how to talk about charity storage. And so they have no other connection to us other than being friends.
Yeah.
And they just want to get that work out because it's so good.
I was going to say, they believe in it. So that's the best kind of people to have on your side, the ones that they bought in, they believe in it. They're going to, not there with an ulterior motive. They're, promoting the product.
Yeah.
It works. Yeah. That's good.
We have great support from the SSA and from ISS. They're a charity partner for SSA. We are able to be at the shows. Obviously, we couldn't afford to do it if it wasn't for their help. So
Sure.
we, for instance, with the SSA, we're in the foyer, so we can be right next to registration. And Open Tech shares their booth with us, or I should say, we share a little corner of it.
Yeah, yeah.
But we're able to. It's so self storage is such a booming business. It's completely sold out. We used to have a booth. We can't get a booth anymore, and we have to. Fortunately, OpenTech is great, and they let us share their booth. But and it's great to have this kind of problem where it's sold out.
Yeah.
So we're on the showroom floor always. We're always out by registration. And then we also do the roundtables. So we really highly encourage people to come to those because that's when we kind of have this conversation more depth and asking questions and that type. It's kind of hard sometimes with all the noise and the hubbub of the show. I mean, you know how that is. It's
oh yeah, that's
it's pretty crazy, and everybody's on a mission to go from one to the next. So the roundtables are a great way to just get engaged a little bit more and go a little bit more into depth. But really, like you said, it's not that complicated. Once you get it, you're like, oh yeah, okay, that makes sense.
No, totally. And again, I kind of treat this as a virtual roundtable, honestly.
Exactly.
That's why I started this. So
yeah,
I can ask the questions I want to ask.
What we're doing, that's kind of how it goes.
Yeah.
I wish I could give you some of our pens, but
just give me a digital logo and I'll be pimping it out everywhere. So we're good. But
we do have a marketing kit. It's an optional thing that you can buy. It's $100 per facility. Okay. It includes a big metal gate sign. It's big. It's 18 by 24. It has decals that can go all over your facility. We send you some pens, buttons, wristbands, that sort of thing, and all the. Oh, and also we have the tax receipts and some rack cards. They're small. I don't think I have any here, but they're small. And then you can put them in maybe in your new lease agreements or leave them on the counter, that sort of thing. And that's $100 our cost to basically produce it and ship it to you.
Sure.
And it just helps with the marketing, but it's not a required item at all. It's just something that we have.
That's exactly what I was going to ask you too. Is like, what kind of materials do you give to the sites to be able to market that service? So, perfect.
Yeah.
You beat me to it.
Yeah, it's really great. I mean, we love carrying. I love being involved with charity storage, and it's a labor of love for both of us.
No, it's fantastic. So I was kind of looking at some stuff before we were doing the interview here, and I was checking out your website. I love the little ticker.
Yeah, good.
I like the ticker you guys have that shows the sites that are. Units that are selling, what they're selling for. It's cool. It shows you it's working. And
there's definitely a big range of amounts that we get for our auctions, but
it's an auction. That's how it goes. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if it's properly marketed, with storage treasures and even with live auctions, we encourage our managers to set a minimum price. And really don't just give away the units because usually they're not junk. I mean, you're kind of curating it, you're making it. You're taking good stuff, and it needs to be in good condition. So you don't want to give it away for $10, So we really encourage setting the minimum at 100 because usually, whatever minimum you set it at, you'll get it.
Yeah, that's smart. That's smart
because it's a bargain. So if you set it at 50, you'll get 50. If you set it at 150, you'll get 150. I mean, it's almost always works that way, whether it's live or not. And with storage treasures, they do waive the seller's fee, the 10% seller's fee. So that's one reason to do them online. And then oftentimes, if you talk to your live auctioneer, they will ahead of time, don't spring it on them, but do it ahead of time. And you give them a nice, maybe little cheat sheet to tell them what's in there and what the value is. They'll waive their fee as well. If you're doing it with other lien auctions, like I wouldn't bring them out just to do a charity storage auction, obviously, but it would be with other lien auctions, and they're usually happy to waive that fee as well. But obviously, there's still the buyer's fee and the clean out and whatever else, and whatever other rules you have in terms of auctions and how fast it needs to be cleaned out and what the rules are about leaving stuff. Now, the one thing is that let's say you do auction that off, but they really just wanted the furniture, they can actually redonate it.
Oh,
for a
okay.
tax receipt. So then you can start the next unit with it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's okay if they do that as long as the managers or the owners are okay with that. And they just redonate it. You stick it back in the charity storage unit. You give them a tax receipt, and you're good to go. So they get a great unit. They get a lot of great stuff, and they get a tax receipt.
No, it makes total sense. I'm
Yeah.
thinking as my days as a storage manager, and I
Yeah.
got that question asked all the time. I have this last thing, I don't want it anymore.
Yeah.
What can you do with it? And if you have a designated unit like that for a good cause, it
Yeah.
makes total sense.
Yeah, yeah, and we have units sell for upwards of $2,000, and then all the way down to
Yeah,
this much smaller amounts. But the thing is that we'd rather not see $50 or less, because that to me it really is a waste of time. A little bit for the
yeah,
managers, it's a lot of work, and then you just get $50, but
sure.
everything adds up. But every dollar counts. That's the great thing. Is that we've raised. I think the amount on there is a little bit off. I think we're closer to 370,000 now. So
Wow.
just from donated abandoned goods, that's it. That's
Yeah.
all that money that we've raised. It was free money that was just it may have been donated to Goodwill, or it may have been thrown out. Who knows? But this is a very targeted way to give back to the community, and really to connect to the immediate community of that particular facility. That is really the key, because sometimes the facilities kind of sit off to the side. They're a little bit in an awkward spot. So
Sure.
this is a way to, get the community coming to the facility, and thinking not just about storage, but hey, this is a place that does good works, that is involved in our community, that cares about the people that it serves. So the next time they may be looking for a storage unit, that is probably where they're going to go.
Oh, totally. Again, the marketer in me is thinking of
Yeah,
ways to utilize this, and I'm just
yeah,
thinking, for the local
yeah.
market, your 3 mile market,
Mm-hmm.
hence the name.
Okay.
I'm just
Yeah.
thinking like, for
Oh, now
just
I
for
get
instance,
it.
like social media blasts. I'm just saying,
Right.
upcoming charitable unit,
Yeah.
social media blasts, and I think it will work fantastic.
We
Even
have one, currently, we have one facility that is, and we've had this happen, I had other ones do this, where they do an event, like a donation event. So
hmm,
we'll send them some extra swag, like just pens and wristbands and things.
sure,
And they invite people over, and they do hot dogs, whatever, and maybe they have a bounce house or a slide or something, and then they invite people to bring stuff, to
hmm,
donate to charity storage. So every time you donate something, you get a pen, just for fun. And they do like a little block party, donation party.
yeah, yeah.
So and people have done car washes, and so it makes them, I think it kind of encourages people, the managers and the actual employees, to get more involved and excited about what they're doing. And while we provide the marketing kit, you can also print those vinyl signs. They're pretty inexpensive, and just sling it up on the side of the building,
Yeah.
and you can then customize it and put your charity on there. Put Alzheimer's Association, Curate, and the SSAF, and put it up in big vinyl signs saying that. There's just so many things you can do.
Oh, there is. And
Yeah.
top of my head, I'm just thinking of. I'm
And
thinking
it's
of.
not that expensive to get the word out. Do some flyers. Get some kid to put up flyers.
Yeah.
Uh,
Honestly, I'm just popped in my mind. But I'm sure people have utilized this, but I think it goes hand in hand of getting some alliances with apartment complexes, with the flyers
Yeah.
like that, and saying, okay,
Yes,
for your
that's a
for your
great idea.
tenants right here, that
Yeah.
here's that when they want to donate something. Here's a local
Yeah, and
drop-off area.
businesses in the area. I mean, they could be. They have a lot of things going on, and they can
Hmm.
get the word out. And by the same token, the charity. If you market with the charity, they have a whole different set of constituents that they can turn on to the facility and say, hey, these guys are raising money for us.
Yeah.
If you've got stuff to donate, they'll give you a tax receipt. That is where you should think to donate, that sort of thing. So they can, that whole group, that's a captive audience that the charity has, can be, so all of a sudden have the knowledge about your existence, and
Yeah.
and that's a good place to go, right? So Again, I can talk about this for hours. So
No,
often at the shows, I often do.
well, that's why I wanted to have you on, just a little more exposure about it, and
Yeah.
just for my own selfish reasons, I want to learn more about it. So that's
Do you have your own facilities as well?
I third-party manage facilities.
Oh, okay.
And then we do a lot of virtual coaching type calls, kind of like we're doing right now.
Yes.
Over the phone with managers, owners, helping with their training operations.
Mm-hmm.
Quite a few different things. But I do this
so
kind of show.
you have a lot of contact.
What's that?
You have a lot of contact with different facilities and
yes,
operators and that sort of thing. Yeah.
Yep.
So that you could be one of our ambassadors if you like.
I'll whatever you give me, I'll
I think it's great to get the word out. That is the main thing, and just have people think about all the different things, how that benefits. Because in the end, I get it. People do things because it benefits them most of the time. So that is an important aspect of it. How does it benefit you? And then, and this is really benefits you, but it also really benefits your community. So. Really can't turn that down. I don't think.
No, it's true. I mean, that's why I'm thinking of the owner perspective, and not to say that they wouldn't do this out of the goodness of their heart, but money talks, And if you can sell this to them as you have a charitable unit that's going to drive traffic to your facility, it's going to help with your alliances and getting all set up for the referrals.
Right.
You're going to make the money on the back end on the rentals, but you're also doing something to give back. So works out perfectly. So if people want to get in contact with you and get more information and get signed up, where do they go?
You could do it off the website. So if you forget, you can just go to charitystorage.org. You can email me at Mariela, Mariela, at charitystorage.org, and I will respond to you very quickly. Our phone numbers are on the website as well. So obviously that's a way to contact us as well. We're at the show, so come by and see us. We're there to talk to you all, so that's what we love when people stop by, because that's our kind of mission, to get everything out and get the word out, get the branding out, and work together, because that is really behind it all. Is just everybody can do donating and good works on their own, but when we have that charity storage logo behind us, it just gives it more gravitas and importance and impact. Because we are doing it together, and we can talk about it, and we can encourage each other, and we can learn things from each other. So it's nice to do things on your own, but it's also nice to be a part of something bigger. And this is what charity storage is. It's just something bigger.
Oh, totally. I'm sold. So hopefully we get some more people to contact you and go from there. Well, thank you for taking the time and being.
Yeah, thank you. That was great.
Oh, perfect. We'll do it again.
No problem talking about it.
What's that?
Not a problem talking about it.
Oh, good. You can definitely tell when people have passion in what they're behind and what they're talking about. Because again, we could probably BS about this for another 2 hours, and it'd be like we were talking for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But
for
time, let's cut it off right here. But I definitely encourage everyone listening to this to reach out, contact you, and get started.
Yeah. Thank you. It was a pleasure.
All right. Take care.
Take care. Bye.
Thanks so much for watching. We love to give away free books that will help your self-storage business. To pick up your free copy of Self-Storage Domination, the actions you must take to dominate your competition, simply go to selfstoragedomination.com.